It's my husband's birthday today. He's a nurse and he works with a lot of girl nurses. And these are 2 birthday shout outs they gave him on Instagram. Let me know what you think. I don't know what to think. This just doesn't sit well. The words, the comfortness level. Like, what happened to, hey, happy birthday?
What?
Am I just tripping?
Well, that's the thing with the work husband and work wife is they know all the inside scoop.
Exactly.
Of what goes on. Like when your man or girl not treating you right.
Exactly.
So that one Monday when, he not treating you right and then, homeboy come in, bring her some Starbucks. And she's like, oh my God.
Oh, hell no.
If you're in a relationship and you're the outside person, that's your biggest enemy, honestly, because they're going to always be there for that person, like give them that everything that you're not giving them, and that's when things
Would you
go
feel
down.
better if you knew them?
No, I don't know.
I definitely would.
That's just like a horrible situation.
Likewise. I keep people close.
Okay, unpopular opinion. And just so you know, not trying to be judgy, I know this was a popular trend. I just think it's a horrible idea. Calling someone your work husband or your work wife, yep, wouldn't recommend it. And it's not because I don't think you can't have good friends at work. It's mainly because the term husband or wife implies a certain level of intimacy, which is a whole hell of a lot more in depth than just friendship. And quite frankly, I wouldn't want my wife thinking that I wanted that kind of intimacy with anyone but her. I mean, gosh, the woman's put up with me for almost 25 years, and the title should mean something.
A lot of these men are fully married, but they choose to, keyword is choose to, act single, especially outside the home in the workspaces, whether they have their own businesses, whether they are working for someone. The choice is theirs. I tend to not bash the women too much. I will say a little bit regarding those women who know very well that this man be married, fully married with kids, and yet being pick-me women, being in their ear, emotionally cheating, which a lot of times leads to physical cheating. Gina Tumasi here, your favorite nurse practitioner, all the way from Ghana, here to talk about everything and anything regarding relationship, toxic relationships, especially toxic relationship, high conflict, narcissistic, traumatic, inconsistent, should I go, should I stay type relationship, all the in between. If you're going through separation, divorce, how to live and live well safely, and how to level up. Anyway, enough of my blabbing on. Especially as a Ghanaian woman, a woman from the church, many of our men show up in spaces where they don't put up any type of boundaries. I've worked with a lot of male colleagues, and in no circumstances, according to my own standards, and truly, to be fair, when you are in a committed relationship, when you're in a marriage, really should not give access to the opposite sex, if you're a heterosexual relationship, to give you so much freedom, access, flexibility to you to that level where they're calling you pet names. They're calling you pet names. They are celebrating you, which is great. But what happens, the lady herself said, what happens to just saying happy birthday? I have been in those kind of situations in my over 10-year, over a decade-long marriage. The thing is, many of us women, we want marriage. We want the partnership. We want to build a legacy for ourselves, for the children, for our families. We want to break the traumas that we came from, the poverties that we work from. So we work hard with our partners. We do all of it just so our marriages can flourish, so we can level up financially. So when we like for example, myself and my ex, we came from nothing, but both of us, through our own passion, being here in the United States, coming from Ghana, decided we were going to work hard. This is our plan and go. And they started great until a lot of these men and I'm not bashing my ex, but this is across board what a lot of our men do. And it really aches. And this is why we don't progress as a community, especially those of us coming from Africa. And a lot of these men, when they start making it financially, they make it a point to focus so much on getting side pieces, bitches, blah, 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 being so friendly with women because now they look attractive. And some of these women are googly eyes. Oh my God, he has this car, he lives in this neighborhood, he drives, he has these businesses, or he's working in this, he has this position, he's a CEO, he's a... else and getting the attention. No boundaries for this woman to say, hey, no, I'm wifed up. Don't send me those messages. I'm sorry, don't do that. I am married. My wife's name is Gina or whatever your name is. But they choose to not do that. You know, so this is the red flag. He lacks boundaries. He's not telling them that he's married. He's not setting appropriate boundaries so this woman will not continue to treat him in that way because he's getting all this attention. It's an ego boost. A lot of men, it's all about sex. It's all about selfishness. And it's all about status. So the status is he's getting all this attention. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about this. But I think he's emotionally cheating and or physically cheating, or both. Okay, bye.
Beware of the work husband. The work husband is when your girlfriend or wife goes to work. He makes her coffee. They go to lunch. He walks her to the station. He spends more time than her real husband. He's waiting for the timing where she's upset and she's had an argument. Then she's going to use him as a shoulder to lean on. And that's when he attacks. Pow! Be aware of that work husband. He's dangerous. Don't be dead.
Yes, your girl has a work husband. Why do you think she has not invited you to come to see her at her job yet? Yes, her work husband looks better than you. He's taller, he's in shape, he got a six-pack, you got a beer belly. Straight up. Yes, she does tell her work husband everything, all the secrets. She confides in him. She trusts him. Yes, he does give her many compliments. He makes her feel all gushy inside and down there. Yes, she is waiting for you to mess up so she can finally hook up with her work husband like she's been thinking about almost every day since they started working together. Straight up.
I know there are going to be women and men who are going to dismiss your concerns as you being insecure and being jealous, but there's a level of familiarity with both of these women. We're calling people's husbands Zaddy and Papa Smurf. Like, who gives somebody else's husband pet names like that? I would especially believe this is a red flag if he gets frustrated and annoyed anytime you show up at the job, or he's asked you not to come by, if he hasn't introduced you to these women, if he goes out of his way to keep you all separate, because who knows what he's telling them. You have every right to be concerned about women who feel as comfortable with your man as you do, because the relationship should be and should feel different. Not every woman sees a man being married as a deal breaker, and every man doesn't see it as one either. If they're all this comfortable publicly, I can only imagine how they are privately. You posted this online because something in you already knows this doesn't feel right. You just aren't comfortable doing whatever you know comes next. They didn't just start getting this comfortable out of nowhere. What did your husband do to help these women feel this comfortable?
I looked my husband dead in the eyes this morning and I said, if I ever find out you have some work wife, work hubby vibe shit with a coworker, don't even bother coming home. And of course he looks at me like, girl, you're crazy. Like, you know that would never happen. But I know you know what video I'm talking about, where that lady posted, or she was talking about her husband reposted because it was his birthday, and one of his coworkers said, oh, like, happy birthday, Zaddy, work hubby, blah, blah, blah. Like, that shit got me heated, and it wasn't even me.
Works with a lot of girl nurses.
Just watching your video and reading the comments, that his work wife left, he's cheating. I've been married twice. He's cheating. It's bigger than him not setting boundaries. He could be emotionally cheating. I mean, there's so many different ways to cheat, but in the end, it all equals cheating. He's definitely cheating. You should not even have had to have the conversation about boundaries. I work in the same field, and My doctors respect me. I respect them. They respect me as a married woman. I respect them as married men. I keep at bay the single ones. I handle them a certain way because they're single, and men will be men. But excuse me, as for your situation, he's cheating, and I hate that for you. I hate this is how you had to find out. But there's definitely some form of cheating, even if it's not physical. It's still happening, and it shouldn't be. And as for her, she's probably getting an earful from her own husband. But if you're going to stay with him, I definitely we all three have to have a sit down to let her know that they can't even be friends anymore. Co-workers, yeah. Friends, no. Might even make him find a new job. Because he's already in deep. And so is she. It's disrespectful. Because you're his wife and this should have never taken place. Happy birthday from a coworker. It's fine. It's not an issue. It's all about how you do things. And don't let anyone gaslight you, whether it's him, her, whoever, into, oh, you're overreacting. You're not. There's always signs. And a lot of times we ignore the signs. But the signs are there that even if he doesn't see her like that, she definitely sees more in him. So, and men are stupid, and sometimes they miss the signs, but usually it's what they want. She's a backup plan. She's someone to hump on if she ever needs to hump on somebody. She's a lot of things. So I just wouldn't tolerate it. And if he becomes defensive when you say whatever you need to say about this, yeah, they are more than work, hubby, and wife. I don't even believe in those things because what? Like, that's foolishness. And I hate you have to find out like this, but normally in these situations, we always find out and it's usually someone at work. It is oftentimes normally someone that they work with. Someone that they tell you not to worry about and all these other things. So, I hope this turns out good for you. I hope you can turn a negative into a positive, but you definitely got something to worry about. Have a good day.
And this lady was talking about how, well, he hasn't given me a reason not to trust him because if he shows me, I'm like, girl, he reposted it. He reposted it for everybody to see. Like, huh? He's with this coworker. I know that nurses work like 12 hours a day, maybe like 3 days a week, overtime. I don't know. But I'm just like, if any woman at my job, at my man's job, was calling him zaddy, calling him his like work buddy or like break buddy, work husband, it's over for everybody.
Okay, y'all. So I didn't know this was like an actual thing. I've been hearing about it like more and more lately, whatever. So this whole work wife, work husband thing is like a real thing. Like, okay, so I was working at this job. I'm not gonna say the job. And it was these two people, right? One had a husband and one had a significant other. And it kind of started off like a crush. But then they started going to lunch together every day. And I was like, okay. And then it got to where they was intimate. Like, they was doing this on our lunch breaks. And they kind of had like a little bit of rank. So they could come back from lunch late. Fast forward, it turned into a whole like thing to where now people don't fell in love. Now, mind you, people got whole like spouses and stuff, and I just could not understand. So when I left the job years later, come to find out they was still fooling around with each other. They're not together now, from what I know. But I just did not know, because you know they was like, oh, that's my work wife, that's my work whatever, and I was just like, oh, okay, not a big deal, until it like grew into something bigger, and I just could not understand it. And somebody was like, well, you gotta think about it like this. You go to work for like 8 hours a day. So a lot of times you see these people more than you see your spouse. And I was like, what? So you mean to tell me you could cheat at work and make money and you come home like nothing happened? Okay, so I'm kind of messy. Can y'all put in the comments if y'all ever heard of like a work wife, work husband situation blowing up bigger than what it was?
That work wife and work husband shit is not no joke, for real. I just witnessed some of the most devious shit go on firsthand. I had to tell my manager, hey, I'm gonna go to the car real quick because I I gotta go get my notebook or whatever, right? I just had to come up with a lie so I could come talk about this, because this shit was crazy, right? So boom, this is what happened. So I get to work, right? And then there's this new server lady that I had never seen, because I've only been at this job for like 2 weeks. You know, I got a new job every other month, but basically I've never seen this lady, right? And I was like, yeah, I've been here for 2 weeks. Why haven't I never seen you? And she was like, oh, I was away on like a little trip or something. And I was like, oh, okay, that's what's up. And basically, you know, after being there for a couple of minutes, you know, I kind of get an understanding of what had happened. Basically, this lady got married, right? Because she was going up and down the restaurant, showing everybody her ring. She was telling everybody about her honeymoon and how she had a great time, and her husband, how he bought her a car. You know, he got himself a new truck. She was being all types of happy, right? All types of happy. And I was like, okay, shit. I understand. You know, this lady was away because she was on her honeymoon. But then this other dude walks into work. And I know him. He's cool people, right? Or I guess I thought he was cool people. But as soon as she sees him, she runs into this man's arm. I'm telling you, she sprints. Like, she turns around, sees him. She, like, her face lights up, right? She runs to him, jumps in his arms, and he grabs her. Like, he hugs her, and he spins her around, like he's twirling her around. Her hair is flying, like her legs are flying. Like, you could have sworn that these were the motherfuckers that got married, right? I was a little thrown off by this whole situation. And then they were giggling, they were laughing, holding hands. Like, this man was grabbing up on her, you know. They were like whispering in each other's ears. Like, it was just, this was just within 5 minutes of them being together. And then they were already planning on going to grab drinks and everything, this and that. She's like, yeah, I just gotta tell my husband that I'm gonna close today, because I think we're gonna get cut early, and then, you know, that'll give us like 2-3 hours to go grab drinks. And I'm just baffled. Like, I understand that this is a real thing, you know, it's not just like a little joke, but this bitch just got back from her honeymoon. She was just showing off her ring. And as soon as she saw this dude, like, he's spinning her around, they're laughing, they're giggling, they're throwing jokes, he's grabbing up on her. I'm talking about, he's grabbing on the cheeks and everything, you know what I'm saying? Talking about, oh, I missed you, I haven't seen you in forever. And then she shows him the ring, and then he laughs. He's like, oh, that's the ring he got you? And then she's like, stop playing, like, why are you gonna be that way? Fellas, ladies, make sure, I'm not saying everybody's like this, but make sure that the person that you're with is actually with you for real. Because you don't want to find out that your bitch is out here embarrassing you at work like that when you're not in front of her. Or you don't want to find out that your man is doing you like that. You don't want to be the woman of a man who's out here twirling bitches on the clock.
What about lunch with other women and or the work wives, right? The running joke with the woman that, you know, if you're being honest, you're probably like, yeah, don't be laughing around my husband too much. It's a running joke because they're funny and they get along and they work together, and she's just my work wife, you know. I mean, we banter back and forth. Yeah, let me tell you something. A man is only friends with a woman for 2 reasons. Number one, he thinks she's attractive, right? Number two, he thinks that she possesses some quality. He's convinced himself she possesses a quality that is easy to get in bed. That's it. That's the only 2 reasons why guys will be friends with a woman. Other than that, he wants to surround himself with the most beautiful people that he can, because he's probably narcissistic to some degree. And then he wants to throw out this storyline of she's my work wife to kind of throw you off and say, oh, well, his behavior doesn't seem irrational to me because that's his work wife. You know, it's fine. They can share meals and they can laugh and they can rub on each other's shoulder because that's his work wife. Really? My thought is a work wife eventually turns into a phone call that you're going to receive, to where he said he was going to leave you for her. You're going to call him and want a divorce or to break up or cause a scene. He's going to get a little emotional, probably lose his job, and then he's going to blame you for it and end up with her, and she's going to leave him once she figures out that he's a piece of shit. That's my thoughts. But, you know, we'll just leave it there.
Are you a married man who has a work wife? Sit down. I've talked about this subject before, but I feel like we need to revisit it. If you're tempted to scroll away because your short attention span does not let you focus, fine. Let me just say this. No married man should have a work wife. Now, if you're interested in knowing why, stick around. I feel like one of the biggest issues that men face nowadays is that they lack self-respect. Because no self-respecting husband is going to acknowledge another woman as his wife while his real wife waits for him at home. Now, man, listen, I understand that there may have been a friendly conversation or two that led to this woman seeing herself as your work wife. I understand that it may not have been intentional, but you have to be intentional in putting an end to that. Because successful marriages nowadays are so hard to come by, and absolutely anything that could jeopardize the peace in your home is not worth it. And I'm not making this up, by the way. You can ask any couple that's been together for 30, 40 years, and you ask them if the idea of a work wife makes any sense to them. Come on, bro, stop exaggerating. It's just platonic and it's innocent and we're not going anywhere with that. Fine. Does your wife know? No, seriously. Is your wife aware that there's another woman who thinks that she has certain privileges with her husband? Because we can go ahead and lie to ourselves as much as we want and say that it's innocent. But if you would rather keep that a secret from your wife, it's because you know that it's rather disrespectful. And if you're a wife who's okay with your husband having a work wife, fine. But let me just say something. You may know your husband's intentions, but you certainly do not know her intentions. I have seen marriages destroyed because of this behavior. I hope it doesn't happen to you. And one last thing, if you are a work wife and you know that this man has a whole family and you know that it can be jeopardized in that relationship,